Here's the setup for X spot number 3. Now, this is just going to be a play where you're going to turn that corner route into a post. So all you're going to do is put an out route on the tight end, streak on B. Now, I'm putting a drag on X. You can put an in route. That works as well. I just like the drag for a little bit more speed. But again, an in route will work as well if you wanted a little bit more of a delayed route going across the middle. Again, you're just going to motion this corner route into a post where you're going to hike it like right when they start to slow down, like right before they're about to set. You'll see them slow down here. And when you see that, you'll hike it. Then you want to throw it going across the middle of the field, right about there, right right where the deep third is, right underneath it, because that streak's pushing it back. You can actually throw it a little bit earlier than that, and I'll go into the replays here because I actually want to show you a couple of things from it. But you can throw it a little bit earlier. You want to pass lead it right around 9 o'clock if you're going from this direction. If you're going from the opposite direction with the trips to the other side, probably around 3 o'clock. So like right to the side. So when you hike it here, you could throw it like right here. You could actually throw it like right here with that side pass lead, and it'll get over top this linebacker, and you'll catch it like right around here. But the more you can wait on it, the more time you have in the pocket, the better. Because this streak is pushing back the middle deep blue and the outside deep blue over here, which opens up this middle window. But again, you can throw it a little bit earlier if there's a little bit of pressure on you. So like if that pressure that got on me there came a little bit faster, I could throw it a little bit earlier. But again, that perfect little window there with that streak pushing it back, and you can throw it. Now, so I actually did not want to go out of the replay there. I wanted to show you one more thing with this out route from the tight end. This is the point of the out route of the tight end. So if they have the flat there, this out route pushes that flat to the sideline. You'll see this flat commits down to the out route. That leaves this post wide open. That's what allows you to throw the ball right here if need be with that pass lead to the side, because the flat's no longer there. It's playing the out route. And again, if you're throwing it here, you need that pass lead to the side around that 9 o'clock. But again, that's why that flat's getting pushed to the side, because you have the out route. The other reason why you have the out route there is if they blitz. And I'll show you that after I show you the play one more time. Because if they blitz that curl flat there, that out route is going to be 8, 9, 10 yards for you. Now, I want to show you it with a little bit earlier pass and show you that you can catch it if need be. So if you need to make this pass earlier, like right there, you see a nice little dive catch. That's right around 9, 10 o'clock pass lead. That's what creates that dive catch. You can catch it there. A little bit scarier. Again, that was a lot more contested, right? But it's going to be a little bit better if you can wait on it. So we'll wait this time and throw it across the middle of the field. But that's what makes it so good, because you can throw it earlier if you have to. I'll wait on it a little bit longer here, and that's wide open. That's uncontested catch. That's an easy catch for you. Now we'll go over the out route against the blitz here. It's going to be really simple for you. Sometimes people will do this if they want to get like a little bit of justy. They'll blitz this player. Maybe they'll do something with Verrett as well. But assuming that they don't put any flat over there, and you see them blitz this flat, so you're just watching that right side. As soon as they hike the ball, I'm watching that right side. If I see that flat go right there, taking that out route, maybe a little pass lead up there. That's 9, 10, 11, 12 yards, right? So that's why the flat's there, either to push the flat to the sideline or to gain extra yards if they blitz their flat. Now we'll go over the other reads on the play. So if they're in a cover 3 still, we'll go to cover 2 here in a second. But if they're in cover 3, this is their user. Let's just assume they user the post. So you can't throw the post. That's why the drag is there going across the middle of the field. So I'm just manning up that player to simulate the user going to the post. And when you do that, that's when you can take the drag right here. You see the user's no longer there. There's no longer a yellow. You can get there. Now I'll shade down so that other hook curl will play the drag better, but you'll still be able to throw that. So shade it down here. You see the hard flats. User's manned up to Y again, just to simulate that it's taking it away. I need to block the running back here. So same setup. And this is shaded down. So the hook curl on the left is going to play that drag, but eventually it'll try to pass it on to where the other curl flat was. And when it does that, you can take it, get upfield for a lot of yards. Now, one last thing that you can do, another option here would be to put a slant on this player instead of a drag or an out route. But I tend to do the drag because the slant gets a little bit close to the post and makes it a little bit easier of a user to break down from the post to the slant. But why the slant could be good is if they hard flat. So we'll just hard flat here. And again, we'll take away this post with simulating the user. If they do that, the slant will get over hard flats going all the way across the field, but you're rarely going to have enough time for the player to do this. You're either going to get block shed, maybe they blitzed. But you see here, and I actually got an overthrow, which is fine. Again, that's another reason why you don't want to do it. Eventually, someone will block shed. But if you do that, the slant's going to get over the out route and the hard flat, and you'll be able to pick up a lot of yards. But I prefer the drag. The drag's fine. You'll get 8, 9, 10 yards with it, and you don't have to wait for it to be all the way to the sideline either. Because you see here, if they're using this post, They're user in this slant too. Like they're right there. So a little bit too close, but just another option for you just to give you a little bit of variety. Now we'll go to cover 2 here. Audible into it. This is I'll just shade up for the cloud flat. When they're in a cover 2, then back the safety up because audible from cover 3 actually messes that up a little bit. Same setup doesn't change, and same reads really, other than the fact that you can throw that streak for a long pass if it's cover 2. You can throw the streak in the seam against cover 3, but for the most part, you're not going to be able to fit that pass in. But the corner route, the post route's the same. That's the same pass lead. It's going to get over the yellow. You don't have to worry about it. Now the mid read's the one that made the tackle there, but again, the user's usually the mid read, so you're just reading where the user's going. Otherwise, you'll probably throw that drag. But this is the mid read here. If that mid read isn't there, this is a much more wide open catch because it gets over the vert hook. But either way, you can still throw it. Now let's just assume here, we're going back to cover 2, that they will take that mid read as their user and go to the post. So let's move this deep half out. If they go to this post here, just like this, you can throw that seam streak for a lot of yards as well. So definitely a lot of things you can do against several coverages here. But if they take their user out of the play, this seam streak's a lot of yards. You got to make this throw. Got to make that throw. I probably don't want to rack it. Probably want to possession catch it. But if you possession catch that, that's 25, 30 yards. I'll show you the right way to do it here just so you can see. But if they don't guard the seam streak, you got to, especially cover 2 is very susceptible to the seams this year. So if they take that away, you kind of have to take advantage of that. Get those 20 yards, get those 25 yards, and get your first down. So like right before they're about to set, if you see that there, possession catch that, get your 20 yards. Now the last thing I'm going to show you here, because you've already seen on the reads, you can see that drag going across the field. You know that's going to be there if they take away their yellows. Last thing I want to show you is against cover 3, you can fit this seam in, but it's a little bit tough, especially if they don't touch that player because it's going to follow the post a little bit. But you can fit that seam in maybe, especially if Sherman's not there, but it's a little bit tight. But their alignment can change. So if say they're in cover 3 here and they take this, let's say this is their user and they're going to the post, right? If they take that hook curl away, maybe they shade down, maybe they go to hard flats. That makes the seam a lot more wide open. So it's just something you can look for. It's not a read I make a ton from this play unless it's cover 2. Cover 2, you want to make that read a lot. But if they take away those players and start opening up those zones, that's when you have to take the seam read very, very quickly. Like right there, the purple's not there because it's hard flatted. It's a lot more open. Now Sherman just makes plays because Sherman is really, really good in zone. But I just want you to stress, that's got to be a read for you. If it's cover 2, you got to make it. If it's cover 3, you got to make it. Let's just man this up to the post here. Like if it's looking like this, this is something that you're going to have to throw. And I think it just adjusted that to a curl flat, and that's why it played it before. I was trying to show if they have hard flats out there like this, it's because it's not aligned right with the way you would usually do it if you just pressed or whatever. But if they have a hard flat right there in the seam, easy read. Now, this video is going on too long already, but I just wanted you all to see every single read that you can make on this play. It can be very effective. It's not going to be a play that you're on every down, but definitely something effective. Making sure you're making that steep reading against cover 2, making them respect it from cover 3 if they're getting rid of those zones in that area, and then taking that post, seeing where they're going, post or drag. So